Hey, this is Walt with Buck Auto Body Parts. Thanks for tuning in to our channel. Today is day 12 of our 6-speed transmission swap. I have been working on the car a little bit in between videos, just taking care of some loose ends, but I'm going to show you what I've been working on, and we're getting pretty close. Tranny's in the car now, and we have to get the rear end back together, some other little things, and hopefully we'll be driving it soon. So here's what we've been up to. As I said, we had the rear end out of the car and we got the new gear set put in it. As I said before, we went from a 320 gear to a 370 gear. That should be, hoping, pretty good for the 6-speed. From everything I've read, that seems to be, depending on what you're doing with the car, people usually are right around that range, the 370, 389, depending on what you want. So this car does run a spool. A lot of people probably say that's not the best thing for the street, but I have had a, prior to the spool, I had a Detroit locker in the car, and I did break that drag racing it. So at the time I just went ahead and put a spool in it to avoid any further problems. And really, they say you shouldn't run a spool in the street, but I don't have any reason not to. Like, it works just fine. I've driven the car in the rain. Yes, it's a little sketchy in the rain, you got to be careful, but as far as driving around normally, it's fine. It doesn't cause the car to do anything weird, and it is a little more difficult when you got to park or do something like that, because you can obviously feel the bind in the rear end, but other than that, yeah, really no problem. So we got that done. Hopefully we'll be getting that in the car tonight. Got all our other stuff that has to go on here, and it's really not too much to put that in. Once you get the center section up there, it's pretty much just popping the axles back in and getting the brakes on it. So not too big of a deal. On the inside, have my my fake shifter handle there. Did a lot on the inside as far as the wiring. There was different switches and things like that that were in here that had to come out, had to take a gauge out. The vacuum line, or not the vacuum line, the CO2 line for the boost controller was in here. That came out. Some of the wiring for that as well. I have this wiring on the floor here. The switch right there is a that is for the reverse lockout, just a toggle switch. And I see a lot of videos where people have they don't use this, or they modify the solenoid on the reverse lockout so that they can kind of just push through it. I don't really see the point of that. I like having the safety on there. You're really only going into reverse when you're going backwards, so it's not really that much of an inconvenience to put a switch on there and throw that switch. I know they're hooked up different ways on different cars. Some are speed activated, some are brake activated, different things like that, but I figured just a simple switch, hit it, throw it in reverse. Got the reverse lights hooked up. There's one other, let's see, what is it? That blue wire coming through is the speedometer wire. I have not looked into that yet to see how that's going to work with my, I have the autometer gauges, so it's the phantom gauge. So I have to look into there's so many pulses per revolution and that type of thing that I have to look into and see how I need to wire it up, and if I can calibrate the gauge to the transmission and whatnot. But I'm going to worry about that once the snow falls. Right now my main goal is to get everything working as far as the drivetrain, get the car on the road, get some miles on it. Probably not even going to do anything with the interior. It's probably just going to look like this with the seat in it, just so I can drive the car and see how everything works. But so that's kind of what it looks like on the inside. May put some sound deadener in here prior to getting the interior all done, just to help quiet things up a bit. So moving to the front, wastegates are back on both sides. We have that exhaust pipe on. I can't put this upper exhaust pipe on until I get the master cylinder back on. We have the clutch master cylinder in there, and even though the line is on it, it's not tight yet, so I got to get under there and tighten that up. But the wastegates are in, as I showed in the last couple previous videos. We removed the CO2 system for the boost controller, and we're strictly running on wastegate spring. So this should put me right around 11 pounds of boost, which I think should be really good on the street. It's always nice to have a lot of power there, but really once you start getting up in the higher boost, the car just wants to get a little out of control on the street, and it doesn't make it as much. It's fun for a short burst, but not fun to really like get out and drive, because the car wants to spin the tires and gets kind of, you know, kind of loose, and it's just more fun if it's controllable. So so that's all done. We'll get that exhaust on. Once we get the master cylinder on, we got the master cylinder reservoir on, and that goes down to the clutch master cylinder. So all that's on, all our lines are capped. The transmission cooler that was on the front is gone. The transmission cooler lines are gone. So that's all been taken out. Transmission's in. So let's see. Get a look at that. Went in pretty good. Oh, well, it went in pretty good, but with a lot of kind of messing around. The clutch alignment tool was a little bit too sloppy, so what it ended up doing was causing the dual disc clutches didn't want to align with the pilot bushing, and I had to take the clutch in and out a couple times to try and get the discs more centered so that the transmission would go in. The pilot bushing fits very tight on the end of the on the input shaft, and it fits pretty snug as well on the spline. So my recommendation would be, if you are going to, pretty much if you're going to do any type of transmission, I've used a few different alignment tools, the steel ones, the plastic ones, and I would probably just find a used input shaft somewhere, because those seem to be, you know, that's what's going in the car. That I think if I had something like that, it would have made it go in a lot better. But it's in, and I'm gonna get our rear end in, get the drive shaft in, and got to put a drive shaft loop in it. But because of the transmission being a little bit longer, the drive shaft loop is kind of, it's kind of right here where it should be further back. So we'll have to make some modifications to that, but I may just wait till the winter to do that, because I don't really plan on, you know, getting too crazy with how I'm driving the car. They want a certain break-in period and everything on the clutch and transmission, so I just want to get it out, make sure everything works, get some miles on it, and then we can start worrying about going a little faster. But that's about it for now. Hopefully next time I make a video, we may have some footage of the car running, at least doing something. I do have to get in and put the pedals in the car. That's the other big thing. With the kit that they sell for the hydraulic conversion, I do have to make some modification to the pedals. So I have to figure that out, get everything in, and then have to bleed the brakes and the master cylinder and get the exhaust on. I have to make some new brackets for the exhaust, because the way it was mounted before, it mounted off the mid plate that was in the car, and that's no longer in there. But so that's it. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please put them below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks again for watching.